We got Mike Zimmer. This would matter a lot more than you think.
With my first pick, I'm going to go with Anthony Edwards.
Charles Barkley Pippen trying to get down to that low box.
He shoved him.
He
He elbowed him.
Doesn't embarrass me. That's all right.
He would be embarrassed. Shaq embarrassed you.
Shaq played extremely well. I thought he was the MVP.
I wanted to go out there. I wanted to guard Mike. I'm guard 48 minutes if I had to.
I'm going to make this a one-on-one game.
He and Michael Jordan have promised us that they will put on the show here today.
Hey, Mike, you got to shoot it quick. Go ahead, y'all ready?
Can somebody tell me what the record is?
52's the record. 16 threes for Stephen Curry.
This is another guy that can enter the conversation in the dunk contest.
Cleveland, do it, Cleveland.
This is the type of things that happen that make people think the NBA scripted.
The NBA All-Star Game has given us some truly iconic moments, as it is not often that the world's
I'm just following the
stars
script
meet on one single stage with the chance to show the world. Even when it comes to the best of the best, I stand out. So while the NBA All-Star Game is fun, it has also been proven to be incredibly important. Did you know that the last two NBA All-Star Game MVP
won championships? That's why I told y'all. Steph Curry was the final. I mean, not the final. Yeah, he was the finals MVP, but he won the championship in 2022 and won All-Star Game MVP. Giannis was the All-Star Game MVP in 2021 and won the championship in 2021.
Went on to become NBA Finals MVP.
Yep.
So
the Celtics are gonna win this year because Tatum won All-Star Game MVP.
See a third. In particular, though, the All-Star Game has proven to be especially important for young superstars. Because what if I were to tell you that throughout time, history has shown us that a young star's first All-Star Game performance is actually a solid indicator of what type of playoff performer they will be in the future.
Facts.
As remember, these are the biggest competitors in the world, and so when they match up head-to-head, there is for sure a pride aspect to this game. We saw it during the actual draft. Nobody liked getting drafted at the end, and we just had an incredible amount of first-time All-Stars put their talents on display in Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, De'Aaron Fox, Jaren Jackson Jr., Tyrese Halliburton, and starter Lauri Markkanen. We just watched these guys put it all on the line against the best in the world for the first time, and as you are about to see, history has shown us that those that stood out are very likely to stand out in the ultimate way in the future, while those that just fell in this new monumental career moment have a history of continuing to do so. So what's up, guys? Mike here, and today I think I found something that is very cool. And to show you what I mean, I think anyone has respect for someone who not only can reach a giant stage like an NBA All-Star Game,
Man had a blindfold on?
who not only can reach
Was he able to see? Sabalos,
stage like
Cedric?
an NBA All-Star Game at a young age, but also deliver in that very first opportunity. Being able to succeed despite not knowing
LeBron the
what
whole
you're
time.
really in for. That shows a mental toughness, a readiness for the moment, and in a lot of these games, we find young stars
First of all, about to miss the dunk, bro.
come through right away. But before we continue, guys, I'm very excited to say that today's Okay, Mike, link is in the description. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video, and for now, let's get back into today's video. While amazingly, on the other end, a lot of the guys who end up not having a lot of
Mike, are you on CVS? I didn't know you shop at CVS. What does CVS even stand for? Convenience store?
We're really excited for today. This is a day.
Truist? You sponsored by a bank? You got your own bank, Mike Zimmer?
I'm Greg.
Of playoff success, or guys who just fall off in general. A lot of those guys had disappointing to horrible games. Remember, the All-Star Game is an honor, but it's also a competition, especially when you are a young player going up against another young player. If you have watched Anthony Edwards,
Joakim Noah. Remember Joakim Noah?
As they come.
He shot like that and it was going in. Like the rotation on the ball spin, when he shot, it was like a tornado. And it went in every time he had a deadly mid-range. You never had a three-pointer, though.
Player in the world. Back in 1998.
And I used to shoot like him, too. But threes and everything. And it'd be consistent, too. Consistently dropping. Point used to go in every time, but it was too low.
Young Kobe Bryant would showcase his talents to everyone against none other than Michael Jordan, as Kobe would actually finish with more points in his first All-Star.
Yeah, you can shoot like that when you're wide open.
Than his season average of 15.4. So watching Tyrese Haliburton go out there and surprise everyone with 18 points and 3 assists, well, as you are about to see, that has been shown to matter. And on the other side, watching someone like De'Aaron Fox finish with 0 points has shown to matter too. Back in his first All-Star game, playing on that same court as a young Kobe, a young Antoine Walker was just not great. He finished with only 4 points, a prime example of a young star just not rising to the occasion.
About a free throw in the All-Star game.
As we all know, Kobe Bryant,
you ain't Shaquille O'Neal, baby.
Walker is Antoine Walker. And so digging deeper here, though, I
remember that behind the back dunk
every single time a
John
first-time All-Star either had an incredible showing or didn't exactly seem ready between the years 2000 and 2010. A nice large sample size that is also good because this is a list of players with completed or nearly completed careers, so we know what happened to them. And as you can see, going through the years, it very much stands out that the most winning young players on this list are the ones that perform the best. It is right here in our face. I'll say personally, I did not expect the list to look this definitive, but it also stands out that many young stars on this opposite list of players that
Granger, you remember Danny Granger? Y'all born 2010s and 2020s, y'all little diddly bops. Y'all don't know nothing about Danny Granger.
Did end up not having playoff success.
Stevie franchise?
The All-Star game was all about
I don't know nothing about him either.
Wizards legend.
Y'all don't even know Michael Jordan plays for the Wizards.
Is this going to be a chronic problem the rest of the year for you?
We want to take a look at some of the
Going to Jordan 10s.
Well, he goes by Garnett.
But ultimately, Jordan ended up struggling.
You missed the dunk?
Oh, goodness gracious sakes alive.
Dunk went flying in the second row.
Perhaps
what?
T-Max off the backboard dunk.
I play the game of basketball because I love it. And, you know, the MVP stuff, that's for everybody else.
Oh, my goodness.
T-Mac.
That one there, Tracy McGrady.
Would more than show that Paul Pierce, was ready for this moment. Pierce would finish with 19 points, the third most in this game, and an incredible showing for a first-time All-Star. The West would ultimately take this game, though, and it's very important to note that first-time All-Star Steve Nash and Peja Stojakovic, a future MVP and a future winning player, certainly impressed, and despite the fact that Baron Davis legitimately cooked Kobe Bryant.
Eve calls for the final shot. All right, Davis spinning his way.
Mayu. All right, okay. This is your hey. This is right to Timmy. There you go.
Dirk Nowitzki, in his first ever All-Star game, showcased his confidence and played so well that he forced his coaches to leave him on the court, knocking down several big shots in a West win that showed Dirk's dominance to come. On the flip side, headed into this night, Steve Francis and Jerome
it was like 2001, I think.
had plenty of hype, but they simply did not perform. By the way, guys, I am on the grind to 2 million subs here, so if you are enjoying this video, it would be awesome if you could subscribe.
Ben Simmons?
Notifications. Now back to the video. In this year's game, Anthony Edwards faced the pressure of being LeBron James' first pick, but in the few moments he was allowed to touch the ball, Ant showed he was ready for this stage and finished shooting 6 for 8. I will say the two most impressive standout guys were Tyrese Haliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Haliburton continued to show that he is unfazed by anything that is thrown at him, playing like a 10.
How would you like to have your SaaS product built and launched?
Mike, what do you know about SaaS? What's SaaS?
Hi.
10-year veteran yet again. While Shai, he had a wild 9 points and 7 assists in just 10 minutes played. He also had several times where he could have scored and instead just passed to an open teammate. I think if Shai was actually allowed to go out there and get 30 minutes played, I mean, he would have been on pace to compete for MVP. So overall, if I did have 2 major takeaways here, it would be 1, De'Aaron Fox disappointed with 0 points, and 2, Shai looked like he was for real. He looked like he was ready to be a real NBA superstar that a team can depend on in the playoffs. We have seen in the playoffs every single season, some guys rise to the occasion when the pressure is like a thick cloud around them.
RP to everyone on that helicopter.
Mistake could cost your team, city, and fandom everything. We have seen in those moments some guys rise and some guys completely fall off. When you are feeling that level of mental stress, you need the ultimate level of mental toughness. And again, while the All-Star Game is certainly fun, it is also the ultimate competition, the ultimate challenge for
that 2016 one was elite.
Opportunity to prove
the ones now just basically a layup line, basically.
LeBron James certainly
and 3-point
faced tons of pressure. He even faced trash talking from Allen Iverson.
All these first timers, they getting all the time. So you got to play 40 minutes, 42 minutes, but you get the trophies. That's cool. He ain't number 16 years old.
But despite this, maybe in spite of this, LeBron would put on a show and was close to being named the game's MVP. Also in
2005, what was it, like the second year?
Up an electrifying 14 points, and very soon after was the Finals MVP in a Miami Heat championship. Then we have the other side. Amar'e Stoudemire and Gilbert Arenas did struggle in this game, and both of those careers, for different reasons, did end up coming crashing to a halt. Headed back to this list overall, diving into the 2010 game, I think we have perhaps the best example of what we could be looking at in this year's game. Maybe a changing of the guard. What do we make of Shea? What do we make of Lowry? What do we make of Anthony Edwards? We know there is a ton of hype around them, but at the end of the day, we have seen a lot of young players fall off. We've also seen a lot of young players rise up and do things that we didn't even think were possible. Headed into the 2010 game, there was tons of hype and expectations and also doubts surrounding both Derrick Rose and Kevin Durant. And in that game, we watched Rose and Durant deliver, and very soon after, Rose was the youngest MVP in NBA history and would help the Bulls reach the Eastern Conference Finals, while Kevin Durant would end up winning an MVP himself with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who he helped reach the NBA Finals. Which means at this point, we know the past is there, we know how the young guys performed. So it's time to see, does history repeat itself or not? And so there we have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on
well, it won't, because Tails not winning the championship, so it won't.
Video like this. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and cue that music. If you're still